right now, it looks like Pete Weber's got Walter Ray Williams Jr.'s horseshoe in his back pocket because all the breaks going Pete's way. Mika's really hasn't bowled that bad a game. 2 bad breaks. Pete Weber's got all the good breaks.
On lane 17. This is the pocket again. Hasn't really been on all day.
Well, and didn't take advantage of that trip 2 pin in the 6th frame. Margin for error is minimal. Remember, we had over 7,500 games bowled this week. 1 300 game.
That was by Michael Haugen Jr. We'll see him in the next round as the 2nd seed in our stepladder format. Back to Koivuniemi. We mentioned he was the first ever U.S. Open winner, foreign-born. But when the event was called the BPA All-Star, Andy Verapapa won in back-to-back years, 46 and 47. He actually was U.S. citizen at the time, but born in Italy. And that's a ball Mika wants to see. The big Finn with his 2 career titles. They won't be going for a title in Honolulu, but still a lot of fun to watch the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl on ABC right after the NHL All-Star game as Jeff Garcia, Marshall Faulk, and the NFC's best against Rich Gannon of the Raiders, Ricky Williams of the Finns and the AFC in the NFL Pro Bowl. Al Michaels and Dan Fouts will have it live from Honolulu, 5:30 Eastern Time on ABC. The NFL Pro Bowl on ABC Sports. John Madden can't fly. So
yeah, and the Madden Cruiser doesn't float.
It could, though. I'm sure by now they could remodel that one up. At 17, he's in the pocket.
And you hear Mika-Koivuniemi yell, latte. That's Finnish for carry. And right now, Mika-Koivuniemi is outbowling Pete Weber, and he's down by 16 pins.
What a comeback from the back-to-back open frames in the 3rd and 4th. He has a 4-bagger going and a 242 match. Working on a spare. Back to Pete.
All right. We'll pencil him in as 9 spare here. He'll be going at a 227 pace. Mika-Koivuniemi, working on 4 in a row, can strike out for 242.
See the single pin conversion rate goes up a notch for Pete Weber. Come on, Pete. Come on. 5th all-time on the wins list. Pete Weber with 28 titles. It's been a while. A full year since he's won.
And you see how Pete's ball reaction is kind of what we call the in-between. A little high on one lane, a little light on the other, having a difficult time getting it to face the 1-3 pocket.
The ESPN instinct didn't like it.
Jesus Christ, Pete.
5-pin.
Sir, let it off your hand.
Easier said than done when you feel like you're bowling in a phone booth for 51 games. That ball never got to the right. But the easy spare.
Not often you see a PBA pro at this level leave a 5-pin. Not exactly an item of pride, but Pete knows he's got to improve. Now suddenly, chance for a 5-bagger, and he can cut it to 4 pins with a strike. Mika-Koivuniemi, with his family watching closely back home in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Hurries in. Shreds the rack. Down 4 pins. Pete sees a huge lead evaporate.
And 2 more strikes and 5 pins, and Mika is going to put an end to Pete Weber.
His wife, Lena, daughters, Ida and Lydia, watching closely back home. Mika telling us he decided to settle in Ann Arbor, coming here in the mid-90s because he's got a large Finnish community. So he really feels at home, and his family has plenty of people to speak with their native language when Mika's on the road on the PBA Tour. Closing in. Came in high.
And that shot was grabbed. You see Pete Weber, when he grabs it, the ball goes Brooklyn. Mika throwing it harder and straighter. When he grabs it, it goes right through the nose. Just reached back to try to get a little bit more on it, and that's the one thing you could not do this week. There was no oil in the middle of the lane to keep the ball on line when you did that. That's why the scores were so low this week.
Finish up strong on lane 17. That last replay from our crew, a great look at how far down the lane Mika releases the ball.
Strike here, Mika will shoot 220. Pete Weber would need a mark with reasonable count. Strike spare, he's an automatic winner.
So the rematch after Mika beat Pete for a major championship. Here's a strike. Now Pete has his opportunity. Mika strikes to finish at 220.
Mika was kind of giving it the farewell wave, but let me tell you something. A mark is no give me. I mean, seen Pete's ball all over the place. He's been light on the right lane. 2-3 shots in a row. Another 2-pin with a 10-pin standing. Could be an open frame.
Tracy wants a big mark here. Gets it and then some.
You want to know why Pete Weber's won 6 majors? Shots like that. Okay, so a couple were all over the map, but you know what? When Pete Weber needs it, he throws shots like this.
Big emotion from Pete. Just 5 pins needed now. Keep on the lane. Got 2 balls to do it. On the first, knocks them all down.
And that was the ball change. The match is in hand. Pete Weber just switched balls, tried a different line. Even though he shot 230 this game, he didn't like his look. A couple Brooklyns, a couple light hits. Used that shot there to go to a stronger ball. Moved in and opened the lane up a little bit.
It's all right. All right.
He won't mind a poor ball there because he's off to the next round. Next, he'll take on Michael Haugen Jr., who's bidding for his first ever title. He and wife Tracy will talk the match over and think about the next.